This series of videos is intended to provide the sport of obedience with a clear explanation of the individual obedience exercises, procedures, and scoring. It is not intended to be the only resource, and participants in the sport are encouraged to attend judges' panel discussions, view AKC webinars, and above all, read the regulations. This is not an AKC product. It is based on the obedience regulations and shares the interpretations of many AKC judges. KPS takes full responsibility for its content. In this video, we will be discussing the beginner-novice class. In this, the first of a two-part video, we will concentrate on what the handler needs to do to show in an AKC trial. We will look at the equipment the handler needs, the regulations that apply to the trial, and the process of showing in a beginner-novice class. In part 2, we'll cover the exercises themselves. Trials are tests that are designed to evaluate the training and skills of the obedience team. The regulations are an essential part of understanding how to be successful in the sport. While not entertaining, they should be read by any handler who wants to do well in this sport. Beginner-novice is a unique class in obedience. It has provisions that are specifically designed to provide the inexperienced handler with an opportunity to start obedience by providing certain exceptions to the generally expected requirements of the regular classes. We will discuss the entire class and cover each exercise in this video. Viewers may want to also view the regular novice videos in this series to see what regulations are in that class. In some cases, viewers may find more detailed information there. Please keep in mind that when the regulations say that you cannot do something, it means that taking that action will result in a penalty. Likewise, if the regulations say that the handler or the dog must do something, it means that failure to take that action may result in a penalty. Judges use the regulations, their training, and their experience to determine what penalty should be applied, if any. The handler should remember that corrections such as popping or jerking of the leash, harsh or loud commands, or other forms of correction are strictly prohibited. Beginner-novice has two subclasses: Beginner-Novice A and Beginner-Novice B. Beginner-Novice A is intended for dogs that have not earned a Beginner-Novice title prior to entering. The dog in Beginner-Novice A must be handled by the owner or an immediate family member of the owner and who has never earned an obedience title. Beginner-Novice B is intended for dogs that have earned a Beginner-Novice title, a companion dog title, or a preferred companion dog title. A dog that has earned any other obedience title may not enter Beginner-Novice B. The Beginner-Novice class has 5 exercises: the heel on leash exercise, the figure 8 exercise, the sit for examination exercise, the sit, stay, walk around the ring exercise, and the recall exercise. This video will explain how each of these exercises is to be accomplished in order to qualify. A team must qualify 3 times in order to earn a beginner-novice title. We will begin by briefly discussing equipment a handler may or may not use in the ring. A collar is required. A dog may not be shown in a harness. Collars are to be of metal, leather, or fabric. Training collars, slip collars, and buckle collars, martingale-type collars, are all allowed. Prong or pinch collars are never allowed. In fact, they are not even allowed on AKC grounds. This can include the host hotel under certain circumstances, so it's best to leave them at home. Electronic collars are also not permitted. Both of these collars are excellent training tools in the hands of a trainer that knows precisely how to use them. Misuse, as with any tool, can harm the dog. Continuing with our discussion of collars, while in the ring, nothing can be suspended from the collar. Tags and tabs are prohibited.
I'm sorry, ma'am, you're only allowed to have one collar on the dog, and they can't have tags hanging. Please leave the ring and take one off, and we'll bring you right back in.
Oh, okay. Come on. I'm sorry.
A nameplate securely fastened to the collar along its length would be permissible. Collars may have the dog's name, contact information, or the club name on them, but titles are not permitted. Now we move on to leashes. Leashes must be leather or fabric. The leash used in beginner novice must be 6 feet long. The handler should not depend on the sales tag. The length of the leash must be 6 feet. Leashes are sometimes sold as 6-foot leashes, but they are clearly not that length. A judge who is in doubt as to the length of the leash may measure it. The handler can avoid this simply by measuring the leash before buying it. Improper equipment may result in the judge asking the handler to leave the ring and correct the equipment. He or she will then try to fit the team in at the end of the class. Leashes must be clipped to the collar in this class. The leash will remain on the dog for all exercises with the exception of the recall exercise. Continuing our discussion of equipment, though not required by AKC, handlers should remember that they may be at the trial for some time. They should bring a crate for their dog and a soft pad for its floor. If the trial is inside, the floor surface is usually concrete and the room may be cold. Handlers should bring a folding chair, such as a camping chair, for their comfort. The handler should be sure to bring water and treats for their dog and perhaps snacks for themselves. On arrival, the handler should go to the ring and check in. Your armband number should have been sent to you in advance, so you should bring a printout of the email or the letter so that you can make sure that you check in under the correct armband number. Failure to do this will slow down the check-in process and may result in errors in identification. A run card will be posted near the table steward. This has the running order for all classes on it. Stewards may not be checking handlers in early. Stewards sometimes wait until the trial is well underway before checking in novice and beginner novice handlers. When you check in, make sure that the steward marks that you are present on the run card. Then wait for your class and your turn. Going to the table steward and asking numerous times when your class will begin is probably pointless. Most of the time, the stewards don't really know when the next class is going to start because they don't know what's going to occur during the class that's going on right now. There are sometimes delays, like for example, a dog fouls the ring and the stewards have to clean it up. Be patient. Watch the other dogs in the ring. There's a lot to learn, and wait your turn. Beginner Novice provides a briefing before the class. The judge will announce the briefing and you will enter the ring without your dog. If necessary, a steward will hold the dog for you while you attend the briefing. The judge will explain the healing pattern and how he or she will conduct the class. They may offer advice on how to be successful. Listen carefully and ask questions if you have them. Judges are just people. Most of them are still showing a dog. They know how nervous you are and should try and get you to relax. More than likely, the beginner novice A and B class will share a briefing. The briefing is not mandatory but can be very helpful. The handler should let the table steward know if he or she is not going in the ring for the briefing. After the briefing, exit the ring and get ready to show. If you are first up, you'll have to hurry a little to get your dog ready. If you're farther down the order, keep track of your class. A few dogs before you're in the ring, you should take your dog to the exercise yard and let the dog void. This will prevent an unfortunate accident in the ring. Afterwards, stay relatively near the ring and warm your dog up.
Okay, take a
While
minute to get
doing
the first
so,
dog
keep
ready,
track
I'll
of
call
your
you out.
turn. Absentees may result in your being called earlier than anticipated. The judge will call your armband number. This is your invitation to enter the ring.
Number 31, come on in.
If you are not present, the judge will not wait. The regulations state that the judge gives preference to those that are ready over those that are late. When your armband number is called, check your pockets and ensure that you have no treats on your body. You cannot enter the ring with food on your person. This includes in your mouth. You may not have gum or lozenges in your mouth. These constitute food.
Sit.
Excuse me, ma'am. Do you have something in your mouth?
It's just a lozenge.
Pardon me?
Just a lozenge.
I'm sorry. I need you to exit the ring and get rid of that, and we'll call you back in whenever we get a chance. If the judge calls you on this, he or she may allow you to show, but probably with an NQ or non-qualifying score. If you treat your dog before entering the ring, make sure they swallow the treat. Coughing up a treat onto the floor is considered fouling the ring. This probably will be scored as an NQ or non-qualifying score. When you enter the ring, remember that you are being evaluated the instant you cross the entrance to the ring. Control your dog. A dog that is out of control, that won't sit at the start line, or that resists your commands will be scored according to the severity. The handler may lead the dog gently by the collar to the start position, but the handler must never force the dog into position. This is true for all exercises in all classes. The handler cannot, for example, force a dog that is reluctant to sit into the sit position by pushing down on its hindquarters. This is the end of Part 1 of Beginner Novice. In Part 2, you'll learn more about all of the exercises involved in the Beginner Novice class. You'll find it in the playlist. We hope that this video has provided an understanding of the Beginner Novice class and encourage you to read the regulations. If you found this video useful and entertaining, please subscribe and click like. It really helps the channel.